Amaranth again tonight. I don't think we're gonna pull Dan numbers against the girl in the hot tub in the bikini.
I guess not, right?
Speaking of Twitch numbers, I don't know where to go from there. I was trying to think of something else.
There's just nowhere to go. That's the whole point, right? Like, we're supposed to have lower numbers, therefore we have nowhere to go. It's only downhill from here, which is hello and welcome to Pixel Pints. We are the only global gaming podcast that covers two great things, which is great beer and video games. But we aren't global. We're
Tonight we're only about 500 miles apart from each other.
we're driving distance.
Yeah.
But we are a global gaming podcast that covers two great things, which is great beer and video games. I'm hosting today. My name is Mitch. I'm here in the sunny but yet dark, because it's nighttime, LA. And I am joined by my fellow American. We get to do Fahrenheit today. It's great.
Yep.
Mr. Berkough in Las Vegas. How are you doing?
Not too bad. It's just another Saturday evening.
Oh.
But Monday is America's birthday, so excited for that.
Where everyone imagines us just going around the world singing "I'm proud to be an American," where at least all that kind of stuff. But anyway,
yeah. Do you have beers today or not?
Oh no, not today. I did that
Nice.
last night. That was entertaining. I don't have any. Unfortunately, I didn't. I should have brought one. I found a really interesting one. Work yesterday, and it was kind of fun. So, but yeah,
Alright.
but yeah, it was good. So I'll have to go find it, because there's another one. So I'll go find it and I'll take a picture, and I'll bring it on the show next time. But what do you?
Alright.
But how are you doing? I mean, like, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Been working on a project that hopefully I will be able to show you guys in the next, I don't know, month or so.
Okay.
Depends on how long it takes the printed version to arrive at my house, so I can hold it up and
Let's
hey,
say,
check this out.
look what I did.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
So
fun.
I'm working on a short story compilation.
Oh, okay.
So I think it'll be.
You're pulling a little Witcher
interesting.
there, my friend. A classic Witcher.
No, but as we get closer, I'll get into more details about it.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, if you didn't hear from us, we are the only global gaming podcast that covers two great things: good beer and video games. If you want to follow us, we stream every single weekend here on twitch.tv/pixelpints. If you want to find out when we stream, you can go to follow us on Twitter, which is pixel_pints, or you can follow us on Instagram, which is pixelpintspod. If you want to listen to this podcast, because clearly I'm not speaking great, so you just want to listen to this all day long, I promise you it's excellent. That if you want to listen to us or watch us, we have this all archived on Twitch, but we also archived on YouTube. Just look Pixel Pints, look for that mug, with a white mug with pixels foam coming out of it, and you got the right one. Or any podcasting service, we are everywhere. Just look us up. We're everywhere. It's worth your time. I'm not 100% guaranteed on that one. I will not give you your money back because it's free, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, I digress. So we are going to move on to our beers, which, we already covered. I don't have beer with me. I have beer in the fridge. I could go get one, but I kind of already opened up my milk tea, so it's kind of too late. So
You can't do beer on top of milk tea. That's not gonna be good.
if I put them in a mug together, would it make an interesting segment?
Yes. Here's Mitch throwing up on his keyboard.
Actually, I'll tell you a funny story involving throw up and game controllers. So
Okay.
a buddy of
I'm
mine,
intrigued.
yeah, see, you get the good stuff here when it's just the two of us. So what ended up happening was I was in college, and we had a like a GameCube. We had a GameCube, and then we also had a Wii U. in the living room because we used Smash Brothers to handle all of our apartment disputes. Was always handled by a game of Smash Brothers, which is classic.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was one of our roommates came home drunk from drinking on a Thursday night, as he does on a regular basis at the time. And we knew he wasn't feeling great. We had him lay on the couch. You know, we got him like the bucket and all that kind of stuff. Like, made sure he was taken care of. That's what we do as roommates and good friends. And so we got one of my friends got nervous, who was my roommate, got nervous. And so what he ended up doing, he took the controllers and he put them off to the side so that he wouldn't throw up on them. No. He literally, like, my roommate that's like sick on the ground basically gets up, looks around, throws up over here, and guess what's there? All the GameCube controllers. So he threw up over the GameCube controllers. So then it's like the weekend, because it's Thursday, so like I was thinking it was like Saturday morning or something. Here's my roommate unscrewing every single controller, Q-tip alcohol, and like swabbing every bit of the controllers to get it all out. So note to self, throw up on controllers, not a great combination. Don't do it. Ain't good. And so if you have a friend that is feeling ill, you don't just put a box of controllers and move it to the side. You need to cover that thing with like duct tape or something to protect it, because I
wonder if he was like acutely aware of where they used to be and was trying to avoid them. And
that's what he said. That's what he actually said. He was like, I felt like I was trying to avoid them, but it ended up throwing up on them.
Moved,
So
it's horrible.
So throwing up on keyboards and controllers is not a smart idea.
I dumped a glass of wine on a PlayStation controller once.
Ooh, I dumped water on my keyboard recently, and I was like, oh. I was like, dang, it still works.
I was actually surprised at how much the wine fucked the controller up.
Oh, really?
It still functioned, but it functioned weird. Like,
was it super sticky?
Well, so I took it apart and I cleaned it with alcohol, right? But it's still, like, after that, it just never functioned properly.
Well, clearly you didn't clean it good enough.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh well.
It's crazy.
Well, since I don't have beer, I have milk tea. This is really good. You should try it. It's great. It's great stuff. Anyways, what do you have to drink? I
got the old standby.
Oh yes, the classic.
Like I said, America's birthday is on Monday, so I gotta drink the red, white, and blue PBR straight from the can.
Oh yeah, classy.
It only seemed appropriate.
There you go. Well, that's our beer segment, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about video games, because that's the second thing we talk about on this show, which today is all about classic memories. We're going back in time to the childhoods, to the innocence and joy of video games in our hands. So we're gonna start off with what got us into video games in the first place, and like what like who brought you into the fold? What's kind of like the first game that you got introduced to, and we'll divvy the segment more later on, but we're going to talk about childhood. So if you're all like, oh, I want to go down memory lane, get Snuggly. It's a great spot right here to do that. So let's get doing. So Berkough, what got you into video games, man?
I think you and I share this, and we might have talked about it before, but
not on the show though. Not on the show though.
Not on the show?
No.
My dad was the one that got me into games.
Okay.
So it's funny because he tells me like how back in the day, in the 70s when he had bought the JCPenney Pong machine, like that was like crazy technology back then, right? Yeah, my dad's always sort of been into that stuff, and I feel like I was an excuse for him to continue buying the shit. Which, it worked out great for me as a kid because I always had the newest console at the time and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was kind of how I got into it.
What was your first game then?
The first game would have been Mario Brothers on the Nintendo.
This was the NES? NES?
Yeah, the original Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can't just say Nintendo. The kids, the children, don't understand these concepts. They've never seen a NES.
I mean, back in the day, that's what it was. It was the Nintendo. Like,
Yeah, but
we would call it the NES.
it's no longer the Nintendo. There's too many Nintendos to keep track of. We got Nintendogs, we got Nintendo, we got NES, we got the I don't even know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, Super Mario Bros. So like, what did you really like it, or what did you think it was okay? Like, or what was kind of like the first game you're like, oh, I really love video games. I really love this game.
That's a good question. Probably came around in the Super Nintendo era. And I would say maybe Final Fantasy VI would be like the first game that I was like, oh shit, there's something to this video game thing.
I'm shocked it wasn't Final Fantasy VII. You have every copy.
I know, yeah. No, I think, well, I go back and forth, right? Like anything from 6 to 9, depending on the day, my mood, one of those games is probably going to be my favorite game. But yeah, it's hard to say which one at any given time.
Which one is it today?
6. I mean, that's what I'm mentioning. So
there you go.
What about you? I mean, how did you start?
Oh, geez. My favorite childhood memory is similar. My dad would play video games. I actually asked him like maybe a year or so ago, and being like, "How did you get into games?" Like, because my dad is someone you would be very surprised that plays video games. Like he is. Right. I'm from the Midwest, so I'm from like Wisconsin, and so my dad is an iron worker. So he's like this big, buffy. He's not like muscle buff, but like just buff, just because he
right.
hardworking type kind. So he does iron work all day. So he like goes up onto the skyscrapers and goes up in the air like there and puts the beams together. He actually, cool enough, did the Viking Stadium recently. So that was his nice. A fun project to do, which actually he learned it was an upside down Viking boat. And so at the meeting, when they go over the concept with the designer to talk about the thing they're building, he just goes, "Oh, you guys know it's an upside down boat?" And he's like, "Do you know why we're doing that?" And my dad goes, "'Cause they suck," because he's a Bears fan. And then they go, "That's enough of you. You don't say that about this team." I was like, okay. But actually, he has his name written. Many of the crewsmen wrote their name on one of the beams at the very top of the stadium. So you don't obviously see their names, but you get to see it. But anyway, he is just very deceiving, and he also rides Harley Davidsons. He's just this macho guy that you would just not expect to like really love video games. But so anyway, he said he used to play at the arcade all the time, and then he just like started to buy consoles then. And so we had a Sega Genesis in the house. Yeah. But the one that really got my furthest back memory was my dad when he was playing on the PS1. And he was playing like he would play Tomb Raider, he would be playing Resident Evil. And so my favorite memory of that, just in general, is what made me really love video games, like love them, was my dad obviously worked hard, so he's used to being up super early in the morning to go do ironwork, so he's always up at 3-4 in the morning. So what he would do is he would get up maybe at like 5 on the weekend instead, and he would go down to the living room, and he would quietly have the TV on with low volume, and then what he would do is I would wake up with my blankie and I would come downstairs and I'd sit next to the couch and just watch him play. And the funny part is he always would turn up the TV for me as soon as I get down there at like 7 a.m. and I would just watch him play. I just literally would watch him play like Resident Evil, or I'd watch him play Tomb Raider for like a good 2 hours, maybe an hour or so. And it wasn't until like I was younger that my dad was like, "Here, play." I just like, okay. And this was Resident Evil, the very first Resident Evil. And I do remember this memory because he hands me the controller and I'm like trying to figure out what to do, trying to maneuver around, and I was in this hallway and there was a zombie in it. And my dad's like, "You need to open the door. Like, go open the door." And he's like, "Press the button, open the door." I was like, "I can't open the door," because I pressing the wrong button. Zombie gets me, I die. And my dad's like, "Well, what'd you do? Like, you way to go." Like, what? Oh, OTAPS is on. OTAPS, you can join the show if you want to. feel free to hop on. We'd love to hear your gaming memory too, there, my man. So hop on if you want. Just message me on Discord. But yeah, it's one of my great memories. It was that, and actually, like, I felt very, I felt very proud of myself when I was able to beat a Resident Evil game and a Tomb Raider game by myself for the very first time. Like, I felt like a badge of honor because my dad was able to do it, and then I was able to do it myself. And then, hilarious enough, there's no such thing as you're drinking too much to have gaming memories. You have gaming memories in there somewhere. We'll get it out of you. But I always felt the pride in it. And then as I gotten older, I've played more games than my dad, way more games than my dad. And so he would actually get annoyed because I would be holding my tongue to tell him what to do and how to figure out the game, and like, why is he going in the wrong direction? And I'm just like holding on pins and needles, being like, I just want to tell you the answer.
Yeah. I can say I wasn't ever really into. Well, they didn't really have first-person shooters way back in the day, but I can remember seeing my dad play Wolfenstein 3D, and then watching him get to Hitler at the end in this mechanized suit that you've got to gun down, and really seeing how that influenced. Like, every once in a while, I get just an urge to sit down and play a first-person shooter, and I think it primarily stems from those times of watching him play them. Because I don't know. I think if he hadn't been into those games and had been playing them, I probably would have never ever done that genre.
Whoa!
Because the games that
spoilers, Matt. Spoilers.
Oh well, spoilers for
a 20 something year old game.
At least 20 something, maybe 30 something at this point.
Yeah.
So
so I mean, I'll go through mine really quick, but like, what are the games you used to play as a kid? So like, for me, it was like, I have the game is older than me, so yes, it is over 30 years old. See, that's why you need you on the show. Come on, OTAPs, let's go. So anyway, what games I used to play as a kid? Like I used to play. I still have a lot of these titles too. It's like the Resident Evils, the Tomb Raiders. I have Jet Moto, like classic PS1 Jet Moto. I had Cool Borders. I think it was Cool Borders 2. Yeah, I think it was Cool Borders 2, the one that let you go through the trial to do all the moves.
Yeah.
And the huge thing, which I wish I understand it's an advertisement at the time, and they don't need to do that as much anymore in the games industry. But man, I miss the old jam packs. Those things were great.
I know.
Like, I have 5 discs of different jam packs of different demos all thrown together. Like, those are sweet as hell. Like, I miss those so much.
Yeah, demo discs were nice. I mean, I'm glad that we're finally getting back to the point where demos in general are a thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of games that, well, I don't know. I mean, there's just as many games I feel like that I played just the demo of and never actually bought the game. So
right.
Yeah, it was a marketing tool, but I don't know. It was still just fun to have variety too.
Yeah. I also had this one weird game. It was like a platformer. It wasn't a rail shooter, but it was like a 3D. It was like almost like I think it was a 3D version of what they were trying to do as a side scroller platformer shooter, which was called One.
Is that the one with Bruce Willis does the voice?
Probably. I don't know. I just know that he had this laser beam thingy, and it would like change color as you kill more people and become more powerful as you kill more people. It was fascinating. I do remember that. That was hard as hell. But I do have the beginning section of that memorized by heart. But the other thing I used to play all the time would be, did you find it?
I did find it on Moby Games, yeah. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm trying to see if this is the one. There was one game that came out in the same type of era. It was like the same style game, but it had Bruce Willis was the voice.
Oh,
of
okay.
the character, and that was like the big selling point for the game.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Because, yeah, it was that. And then on my Sega Genesis, we used to play the Animaniac sports games, which those are hella great.
Okay.
Hella great. I have not played them in a while, so I can't say for certainty if they're still hella great. But at the time, I thought they were the bee's knees, some of the best sports games out there. It wasn't the Animaniac. It was Looney Tunes. I'm sorry. It was the Looney Tunes sports game. I forgot what they called it, though. It was maybe Acme Sports or something like that.
I think yes. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I remember that game.
Yeah, so we had that, and then we had Batman Returns, the movie version. It was like a side scroller.
For the Genesis.
Yeah, we had that. We had this weird ghost game. I can't find it anymore. Like, I don't even know what it's called, and I don't even know where to pull the reference of to be able to find it. It's one of my goals in life is to find this game because I did not know what the hell this thing was.
Describe it. Let's see if we can figure out what it is tonight live on the air.
Oh my god, let's see. I don't even know. You might have to look up like
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, Sega Genesis. Like it's like a ghost. Like you're a ghost hunter, maybe. Or like here, maybe I'll search at the same time too. Let's see what we can do.
Let's see. What style game was it? Was
Hunter,
side scrolling? Was it
side scroller?
Top down.
Yep, side scroller. Side scroller.
Was it like a beat 'em up or was it a platformer?
Platformer. Sega Genesis game.
All right, give me a little bit more.
The ghosts were women. They were these lady ghosts. They were super freaky.
Lady ghosts.
Okay,
keep going. I'm trying to picture this. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Oh my god, I like can half imagine the sound effects of the ladies in my brain, but I can't think of let's go horror game. Oh my god, I don't even know. This is
the Genesis had a shit ton of side scrollers.
I know, that's why this isn't gonna work. Damn it.
But let's see, we've got.
There's no way it's any of the Castlevanias. I don't think so. No, I would have known.
I wouldn't think it would be Rondo.
Dang it! I don't know. I don't recognize any of these.
Where are you looking right now? Are you just on Google?
Yeah, I found a screen.
I'm on Moby Games right now, trying to see if I can figure it out.
I found Screen Rant, so hopefully maybe because they have images of the.
Was it Valis?
I'd have to see an image. So what's it called?
It's called Valis. Valis.
Valis. Sega Genesis. Oh no! It wasn't Japanese. It was very Western.
Okay. All right.
Very, very Western.
Well, on that one you're like a schoolgirl,
Yeah. That this was a guy. This was like your typical average guy. Let's see. Screen Rant. Goose and Ghosts. Nope.
Was it Warlock?
Let's see. Warlock?
Yeah.
See, this is why we need more people to listen to our podcasts. Maybe they could have helped me figure it out.
Taps is just there. He's just scratching his head like, nah, I'm too hungover to think about what game this is.
No, I don't.
It wasn't Warlock?
Yeah, it wasn't Warlock. Oh, well. Anyway, I'll eventually find it one day in my lifetime. But
can you tell him in the W's? I was going to talk about how I remember Wayne's World.
Oh my god!
If you've never played that on the Super Nintendo or the Genesis, that's a ridiculously hard game. Kind of reminds me of the Home Alone side-scrolling games because those games were just complete nonsense.
Okay, I didn't even know Home Alone had a video game.
I think there's one for each movie, Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Okay, did not know
And
that.
they're side scrollers, and you have to like run around like defeating vacuum cleaners and like random shit flying at you, and yeah, nothing like the movies at all.
Sounds like the Brave Little Toaster video game if there ever would be one. Kill the
Right?
evil vacuums.
Yeah.
I know I did have Sonic 2, and that's how I got introduced to Sonic.
Yeah, I remember when the first Sonic came out because the Genesis came out right before the Super Nintendo, and the graphics on the original Sonic, like holy crap!
Yeah,
Like this is so much better than the regular Nintendo. You
yeah.
know?
So there's that, and then what else did I have on that? I had, let's see, I had Aladdin.
That was a good game. Did you
Yeah,
have it
that
for
was
the
a very
Genesis?
good game. It was very good. Had a baseball game on there too, which was actually pretty good as well. Let's see.
I actually bought the Aladdin Lion King pack
Oh, okay.
for the Switch. Because that's like The Lion King is one of my wife's favorite games. They had it for the Genesis when they were growing up, and so I was like, "Oh, I gotta buy this."
Okay, there you go.
Uh, one of the drunk plays on my YouTube channel is us playing Lion King.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
that was on actual Genesis hardware though, because I have the cart as well.
I'm trying to find. Ah, I found it. Ha! There's a PS1 game I completely never finished, and I don't even know if it's even good, but it's called Martin Gothic.
Martin Gothic. I've never heard of this game.
Martin Gothic. Unification. It's a PS1 game.
All right, how do you spell the first word?
Oh, sorry. Maybe it's Martian. Martin. Is that Martian?
Yeah, Martian.
Martian.
Gothic.
Martian Gothic. Wow, I can't read. Sorry, people.
No, it's all right.
That's why I
It's
don't.
late.
That's why I usually don't host. Because I can't read.
I've never even heard of this game. I have
Martian
no idea what
Gothic.
this is about. Yeah.
Unification. It's a survival game. My dad bought this and he finished it,
Oh
but
my
I
God.
never.
All right, so
I never
it's
finished
like
it.
so it's like Resident Evil. Like it has the same type of controls and shit.
I'm not sure if it has tank controls, but it does play similarly to that game. But I have
I
no
think
idea what the plot is or anything.
I think people forget that the tank controls were like a big deal for a few years
Yeah.
on the PlayStation. On the
Oh yeah.
original PlayStation. There's another game that's called Trag. Trag, I think. But it's an acronym for Tactical Rescue Assault Group. It was I'm trying to think. It had a different name in the UK and in Japan.
Oh okay. I see.
For
Is
for
it
whatever
Hard
reason,
Edge?
yeah, Hard Edge. For whatever reason, like they gave us the weird shitty name for the game.
Oh yeah.
Everybody else got to know it as Hard Edge. But that's another like tank control style. You have two characters. You can choose one or the other at the start of the game. Like it kind of mimics the Resident Evil style of game, but
Oh.
it's more like
As you're going, I got all my.
nice. All your Tomb Raider games.
Well, some of those are Tomb Raider, some of them Resident Evil. One that we need a remake of.
Dino Crisis. Yeah.
The original's not very good. I'll even admit that. I think the sequel is better. It's a very good action game, the sequel. Oh yeah, here's a good one.
Silent Hill, the original. I didn't like the original that much actually.
It's weird. And then I got
I'm kind of an outlier, I guess. Resident
Nemesis.
Evil 3.
Oh, here's one.
Alone in the Dark. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I don't think anybody in my friends group got really that excited about it, but I know that it sold well.
Yeah, this one's and people forget it's a dual disc game. This one has 2 discs.
Yeah.
So let's see. Do I have any other PS ones? I just got this bag from my mom while I was visiting home, starting to like get my game collection back from her. Oh yeah, here you go. Madden NFL Blitz 2000. Anybody?
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be Madden, but yeah, NFL Blitz.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's just NFL Blitz. Oh, I still have this one actually in the Resident Evil 2 version.
Is that the
DualShock. It was DualShock supported. Oh, actually, I have 2 copies of this. I had to buy a new copy because one of the discs was shredded to smithereens and scratched. Did you spill?
Fucking.
Oh, the moth.
No, it's the moth.
The moth
came back.
returned.
All right, so yeah, if anybody's curious, you gotta
Return
watch
of the-
the video for me.
The return of the moth. Oh, that was so great. It just popped right out.
Me freaking out.
Yeah.
I hope I don't break my lamp, but I'm gonna try and kill it while we're on air.
All right, go for it.
No, it's like hiding behind my window now, behind the curtain. All right, I hope it doesn't come back.
But yeah, I did have I do have a version on here that so like this one says DualShock support because I bought this one later, but I have the original one where it says like be in the movie. It's like a chance to win a role in the film that eventually came out.
Oh, yeah.
So
Mila Jovovich.
yes, I got 2 more.
Somebody did an awesome video about UA Boll, which is the guy that directed it, right? Or financed those movies.
I was gonna say Anderson directed them. Mila's husband, now husband.
Right.
Paul West.
But the guy, I guess the
please.
guy that financed all those movies, he's like financed a shit ton of video game movies.
Yeah, he
including,
did
like,
the Silent
Mortal
Hill
Kombat
one.
and stuff.
Yeah, he did Silent Hill too. You missed.
I did miss it. This bastard. Got it. It's dead.
Da, 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 da. So I got 3 more I can show you really quick. Some of these I did not mention. My dad had the original Rainbow Six.
That was actually pretty good.
It is.
Was,
It is a true
decent
tactical.
port.
Yeah, in a really good tactical shooter. You controlled 3 different characters. You had to switch off between each character to be able to infiltrate where you needed to go. I thought it was pretty impressive for at the time. And then my favorite motorcycle game of all time, and I want a actual freaking sequel, and I've never gotten one. Road Rash.
Well, there's
I know there's
there is a game
I know there's technically
on
Road Rash
Steam.
2, but it was not the same. And unfortunately, this one is ripped. Ripped. When I say ripped, I mean scratched. And so, like, some of it, this cutscenes are skipping and stuff like that. Unfortunately,
that sucks.
but the game functions fine. I just have to skip the cutscenes. Let's see what else I have.
I should teach you how to back all those up so that you can just put them on your computer and just play them that way.
Oh yeah, you should teach me that. So this is a jam pack.
Nice. Yeah.
But I actually have in the jam pack sleeve. As I drop one. That's not good. These are scary. Oh crap. I can't reach it. Oh, there we go. I not only have 1 jam pack, I not only have 2 jam packs, I not only have 3 jam packs, I have 4 jam packs. And technically,
Nice.
I can't find this one.
Oh, it's not okay. That sucks.
It's not in there. So this one had Tekken 2, Twisted Metal 2, Crash Bandicoot. But I do remember what it is. It is this one. I think it is.
I should think
yes,
that would
it is
be-
this one. This one has an Elmo game in it where you ride a pogo stick and collect the letters of the alphabet. I remember that verbatim, 100%.
Wow.
And also,
I think that,
this one
I think that
featured
would be
what was the other one? This one also
would be
featured 101 Dalmatians, the video game. That also was on here.
I actually do remember that. Yeah, dude, that would be a great that'd be a great stream.
Oh my god! Just like literally playing these old games on would be great. Yeah, great nostalgia. Great nostalgia. But yeah, those were the types of games I played. Well, give me some of yours. Pull me out some games. Come on, Berkough. What do you got? What do you got from your childhood you could pull out?
I don't have like a stack sitting next to me.
It's actually by
like
my feet, but
like you do.
Same.
But
I know you gotta come prepared, man. You didn't come prepared for the podcast. I'm just
we didn't even know we were gonna talk about this shit until like 10 minutes.
It's true. It's very true.
But I don't know, dude. I remember like Blackthorn for the Super Nintendo.
Watch this. I'm so young. I have to look up all these titles.
You have to look it up. It's actually out again now. You can download it, I believe, for free if you have the Blizzard launcher. It might be on GOG.
Wait, what console was it out for?
It was on the Super Nintendo, but then there was also a DOS port of the game.
Oh, there we go. Black. Interesting.
Yeah.
You just
I've
like
never
the
played
buff.
the DOS.
You just like the buff guy, don't you? Just like the muscles.
Well, what was interesting about Blackthorn is you had to be very deliberate. So it wasn't like a run and gun type of situation. Like each screen that you went on had something else that you had to like figure out, and it was similar to Metroid in that you could go back and forth, and you had to traverse the map and like get stuff to open up other stuff.
Okay.
Similar in style to like Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, like that kind of thing. Where, yeah, you had weapons and you had guns and stuff, but it was more about solving the puzzle on the screen.
Okay.
And solving that screen before you moved on. There was some, like Twitch reactions that you had to make, but nothing that was. It wasn't constant. It was like only just certain scenarios.
Okay.
But I think about games like that. I think about games like Metal Kombat 2: Falcon's Revenge, which was a game for the Super Scope, which was the bazooka-like light gun that Nintendo came out for the Super Nintendo. So instead of like the Zapper pistol, they had the Super Scope bazooka gun that you could get. And hours of fun with that game.
Interesting. Oh yeah, these things are wacky. Yeah, these machines are wacky.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Pretty
like
creative though. I like some of the designs.
It felt a lot like an arcade style game.
Yeah, I can see that
for the house.
Oh yeah, no, I can see that for sure. These I do like the robot designs. These are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bazooka. Yep, I see the bazooka guy. It's like a bazooka instead of a sword with his shield.
Well, no, but the Super Scope itself was like a bazooka. It was like a shoulder mount thing. You had to,
Gotcha.
to use.
Gotcha.
So it just sort of put you in the role of the machine character. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like PlayStation stuff that was interesting that maybe not a lot of people know about or talk about. But I mean, I always come back to the Colony Wars games, all the Final Fantasy entries. I'm sure if I dig, I can probably find some stuff that was interesting, like Nuclear Strike, Soviet Strike. Those are games that not a lot of people talk about, but they were really interesting, and they carried over there was a whole series of Strike games. I don't remember what the first two were, but they were on the Genesis. And so like Nuclear Strike was like the final evolution of that series.
Mm-hmm.
And it had like the most refinement out of all 4 games. And those are really fun, and they're kind of overlooked. But they still had sort of an older style of gameplay, I guess. But still sophisticated. Like you had to, do different missions where like you fly your helicopter and like have to pick up people and take them into a location. Other missions you had to go and blow shit up. Other missions you had to like escort, planes or other helicopters. And it was all top down. But yeah, it was pretty interesting, pretty fun.
Okay. I dig it. I dig it. So, what if you could pick one game from the childhood to play over and over again forever? What is it?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. There's too many.
Yes, you can. You can because I asked it. That's my job.
Well, what would your answer be?
Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 2. You get 4 different endings. I mean,
Yeah.
technically 2 different endings, 4 different ways to play. 2 full playthroughs, but 4 different segments to play, and you can play them in 2 different combinations. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I did play a lot of Metal Gear Solid back in the day.
Oh, you're a Kojima apologist. Oh, I see how it is.
No, he lost me with the second one. We've talked about that shit before.
Oh yes, we did. We have on a past podcast, not this one, but on a different one.
No.
Okay, well then let's move on to what is our favorite gaming console? As we've grown up as gamers, we have to have a favorite gaming console. What is it? What is the title?
So this one's a hard question because I've thought about this before. Right. Technically, you could go with something that is like a recent console, like a One or a Series S, and that thing effectively will play anything from this current generation all the way back until the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's cheating, I feel like. I feel like that's cheating. And I feel like you kind of have to limit yourself to the software that was specifically designed for that particular machine.
True. Very true.
What's interesting, though, is like in the modern day, that doesn't really happen. People sort of develop to a spec that sort of is like the lowest common denominator for all machines. All machines are basically PCs at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, you didn't have that. They had this like wildly different hardware, and you were, writing to bare metal a lot of times. So, with that in mind, I think the most fun I ever got out of a console was probably the original PlayStation.
Okay. Now, why exactly? Like, what's the thing that
Just
put it
tons of games. Stuff like I guess it would have been WWF, SmackDown 1 and 2. We had so much fun playing those games. All the Square JRPGs that came out, shit like Chrono Cross and Threads of Fate and Brave Fencer Musashi and Legend of Mana, Saga Frontier game, all that stuff. You had quite a few, like I think Konami was the one that released the Wild Arms games. So they had RPGs. They had tactical RPGs like Vagrant Hearts, Final Fantasy Tactics. I could go on and on. I think PlayStation was probably, I don't know, just the time that it came out. Like I was a little bit older, and Nintendo was sticking to still trying to pander, or not necessarily pander, but still sell to the same demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Just get that younger audience. and that turned me off. And we ended up going with the PlayStation, and it seemed to fit. It was a nice progression from the Super Nintendo to the PlayStation. Plus, Square, joined the bandwagon. Did 7 on there instead of the 64.
Well, I will say you are absolutely correct. It is the PlayStation. I was going to pick the same thing. I think the PlayStation is the best console. It had the most variety of games. Yes, am I biased because it's childhood memory of my first gaming console? Absolutely. But then I also think that like it had more variety of any console ever. I mean, probably maybe rivaling to the PS2, like it's close. But like it had such a variety. Like I just told you about a jam pack I played that had freaking Elmo on a pogo stick. Like what game gives you Elmo on a fucking pogo stick? And
Well,
like
it was a nice bridge between the flat 16 or flat 2D graphics to the
to
3D.
3D. I even
And
remember
you had the best of both worlds. You had a lot of games that were still that old school style,
Mhm.
but then there were games that were defining the 3D.
Yeah, I haven't even gone to talk about like the Xena game. Like I loved that game. I loved the show, and I was like, that game is freaking sweet because what was cool about that game was she would throw her ring just like in the show, and it's
Right.
entirely controlled by the controller. That was
Okay.
freaking cool. Like that was something you don't see in games like at that time. Like it pushed the boundaries. And it not only pushed the boundaries, I think it innovated in ways that you felt like it didn't need to. Like when we went for the innovation between here's what's word I'm looking for. I'm trying what I'm trying to say basically is like it was probably the most innovative time, but yet what they were doing was beyond that just iteration of innovation, which is looking from the 2D space to the 3D space. They were taking mechanics and making new things with games in the 3D space that we could never even imagine was even a possibility at the time, let alone just being like, let's take games that we're not used to making in 3D and make a 3D game. So like they were pushing the boundaries.
Right.
Like you wouldn't imagine a Xena game in the PS1 genre. I mean, not PS1 time frame, and having where I just told you that mechanic where you would throw the ring and you could control the ring entirely with the controller. Like that is something
Yeah,
that
it could have easily just been another side scroller that made no sense, but it wasn't. Is
well,
what you're
no,
saying. Yeah.
I'm well, kind of. I'm saying like they made the jump to 3D, but then they pushed it even farther than that by having that
Right.
mechanic in the game. Like that could have been just a simple like button press and then she throws it and it hits the closest enemy to them auto targets. Not let's
Right.
have you
Right.
control the ring and it's actually part of the puzzles and it's actually part of the progression to like get through the game. Like there's just so much to it. Like I think that was that was the elevation to the innovation that I think you just didn't get in like PS2 games because they were already doing it in the PS1 games. So I think it was like the true innovative time ever in video games was that jump from the 2D to 3D. But not only that is the developers pushing it beyond just saying we're going to be satisfied with putting this game in 3D. No, we're going to push it beyond that. We're going to innovate even more than we ever did before.
Right.
And I think that really just sparked inspiration across the board. But yeah, like there's just so many games I can think of. There's like another one on PS1 where it's some Indiana Jones dude running around. It's like a top down game where he has this pickaxe thing and he like goes in caves and fights these weird creature thingies. But then he's also like breaking crystals all over the place. Like there's just such a variety that
Indiana Jones.
I don't think it's Indiana Jones, to be honest. It,
It might be. I'm asking a question
I
because I'm
have
trying
I
to I'm
have
trying to picture the game.
I have the jam pack for it, but let me see. Let's see. I've only played the demo. I've never played the game.
That's funny. There was a lot of stuff like that, like Intelligent Cube. I think it was sold as something else across the pond. I'll have to look it up and see.
Crystal
But
Adventure.
yeah, that was just a super interesting puzzle game for PlayStation. I've never seen anything else quite like it.
You know what? One game I absolutely was loving that I have the jam pack for, and I actually did go play the full thing. And it was like this. Oh, let me just look up the title. It's like Olympic Olympic Heroes.
The title of the game that I'm thinking of, the European title for Intelligent Cube was Kurushi. So they just used the Japanese title, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a super interesting puzzle game.
No, it's not that one. Let's do cartoon.
What makes you think that it was Indiana Jones, or what about it sort of has that same vibe?
It was not an Indiana Jones game. I guarantee it wasn't. I'm trying to look up a different game that was. Here we go. There we go. Found it. Called Herc's Adventures.
Herc's Adventures for the Disney? The Disney show?
No. Well, I don't.
Hercules?
No, it is not the Disney show. I don't think so. Was it a Disney show?
Yeah, it's the movie with James Woods and Sadie.
No, Hercules? No. Not like the Disney Hercules. This is different.
Oh, all right, okay.
It's a format similar to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's a two-player. Each take the role of one of three ancient Greek gods: Herc, Atlanta, or Jason, and you defeat Hades and save the world. Save the goddess of nature.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it was released on PSN in North America. Oh, I might have to go buy this.
Looks like it was for the Saturn too.
Yes, it was for the Sega Saturn. Actually came. No, it was dual released. But yeah, it's super hilarious. It's got a great like art style to it. It's got that like let's see. Like just look up like some gameplay reel of it. It's super good. It's like even in today's standard graphically, it holds up pretty well by its art style. It's very cartoony. Reminds you of like the old 90s or late 90s cartoons of like what would be one I can think of at the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, this is like that same style that I was talking about.
Like Chippendale Rescue Rangers, that kind of like cartoony style, and like it is very over the top. I didn't like Herc.
Chippendale's Tailspin.
Yep, exactly. I did not. I'm always a sucker for a good bow and arrow. So Herc was not my character. It was the female character because she had the bow and arrow. And they each have special attacks, and you go on adventures, and you fight against cyclopses and then the undead. Are you looking at B-roll of it at all?
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures right now.
Okay. Yeah, it's super good. I had a blast with it. It was super exciting. And it's very comedic. So I had a
Was it just a matter of levels or
Yeah, it was just a top down like beat 'em up basically.
Right.
And it was just good. It was really fun to play with two players, so you could play two player, and it was great. I had a blast with it.
That is something that has sort of just disappeared.
Couch co-op. I mean, Nintendo's the only one that's keeping it going. That and what's that studio? That is.
Excuse you.
Sorry. What is that Game of the Year studio? Jesus. What?
The year studio.
They won Game of the Year. Come on.
I don't know.
It Takes Two. Who did that?
Oh, all right.
Which studio is
Ferris.
that?
I don't remember what his studio name is.
It Takes Two.
Yeah, they did the prison one too, right?
Hazlight Studios or Hazelight Studios. They're the only other ones that are like really pushing couch co-op. So
yeah, I mean, there's stuff like I'm hoping to play Shredder's Revenge, my wife.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, and that's on my list too. I've not played it yet. It's on my list. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play Master Splinter. Be the Master Rat. The rat of the Rat Pack. And as I play this game, I will be playing the Vanilla Ice song in the background of Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go, Go Ninja. Because there's nothing cooler than Vanilla Ice in your Ninja Turtle sequel movie. I did not know.
Somebody posted.
Oh, go ahead.
Somebody posted on Twitter the other day that said that we all start off as Leonardo's or Donatello's, then eventually we become Michelangelo's, but we all end up as Raphael's.
Interesting.
And I posted, or I commented on the tweet, and I posted the GIF from 2 Secret of the Ooze. Raph is all tied up, and like, oh, it's a little quiet. Yeah, a little too quiet. Hey, look, it's Raph. Yeah, he's a little too Raph.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody thought it was as funny as I did.
Oh, I think that's hilarious. I would have laughed at it. I will admit though, what is it? Oh God, why can't I think of it right now? I did not know that was Vanilla Ice. I did not.
Well, I guess you would have been.
I was too young to know like that was
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice until I got much older, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, everyone was like, Vanilla Ice sings that song. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I actually saw like Vanilla Ice looks like. I was like, is that the same guy? Same guy? He's got the same moves. I mean, he's pulling it off really well. I always thought his dance moves were cool when I was a kid, but I didn't realize like he was the Vanilla Ice baby.
Yep.
So
yeah, and it was a unique song for the soundtrack too.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just like he was doing another one of his songs.
You know what? I need to look this up now. Did if the song ever made excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. No COVID, promise. That I always have to just say that. Safety, just saying no COVID. I don't have it. I promise I get tested. Vanilla. I wonder if the song ever. Here's a question for you, Berkough. Here we go. Do you think the song Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go? I don't even know if it's really called that, but I think it's called Ninja Rap. But anyways, I'll look up the title of the song. But
I think it is Ninja Rap.
Okay, let's go. Vanilla Ice Ninja Rap. It is called Ninja Rap, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So you already won half the test. The other question is, do you think the song topped the charts? Like, do you think it, like, guess where it, like, landed in the charts?
Top 5, probably at least.
Okay, let's see. Chart.
Look up the Billboard top hits of 1990.
Billboard chart history. Let's look it up. Ninja Rap. Oh no, this is.
Maybe it was 91. Maybe it was 91 when that movie came out. Because I feel like the original movie was 89. I think the original movie is the same year as Batman.
Let's see. Oh, he's still doing concerts. That's good to know. See full chart history. Here we go. Okay, so they don't break down his. Oh, here we go. Top 100. There we go. Oh. Okay. So.
Did it break the?
That's weird, but I guess according to the Billboard Top 100, it never charted.
Oh, really?
Never
that
charted.
That is interesting.
Let me just verify because this. Oh, blah. Okay, Ninja Rap. If I type in Ninja Rap, I get diddly squat. You know, this is the only podcast where we would like look up Ninja Rap to see what the heck where it locates on the charts. Let's go try. Oh, here we go. His Wikipedia.
I kind of want to watch these movies now.
I really want to watch that sequence. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ninja Rap. No, never charted. Never charted.
Interesting.
I am shocked it never charted.
Yeah.
I thought it would at least make the top 100.
Yeah.
But no, it did not.
Well, here I was all optimistic. I was like top 5 easy.
All right. Well, oh, he wrote a Ninja Rap 2? No.
I'm sure Vanilla Ice tried a lot of shit to become popular again.
Wow. Okay. He wrote two Ninja Rap songs for the film. There's Ninja
Okay,
Rap 1 and Ninja Rap 2? But he did that one
interesting.
in 2007
Yeah, like I said, he was probably trying anything to get popular again.
for his album Platinum Underground. Weird. Okay. Um, I will ask you one other question though while we're on the Vanilla Ice track here. Can you
Yeah,
name his? So obviously, Ice Babies is number one.
right.
It was in the top 100 at number one for 1 week. Name his second best charting song.
I don't know if I can.
Here, I'll give you a hint. Is it
Well, Ice Ice Baby was the one that sampled Under Pressure, right? Doom 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 doom.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll
All
give
right.
you
Well,
here,
what's your hint? What's your
here
hint for the?
I'll give you three options. You can tell me which one. It is I Love You, Play That Funky Music, Cool as Ice, Everybody Get Loose.
I'm gonna go with Cool as Ice.
You are incorrect. That's the worst charting one of the charting ones. It is Play That Funky Music.
All right. Okay. Well, that would have been my second choice.
I don't know why you didn't pick that one first, because isn't that this?
I figured all of them had to have his name in it, right? They all had to have Ice in the title somewhere.
That's hilarious. All right, so we all agree the PlayStation 1 is the best console. We agree that our dads got us
Yeah.
into video games. I forgot, what's the third thing we were going to talk about?
Who got us into consoles? First console and best console.
Oh,
So I guess your
we
first
covered it
console
all.
technically was your first console was technically the Genesis. Actually, play it all that much, or
No, it was the PlayStation 1. We bought a Genesis later.
oh really? That's interesting.
Well, it was more maybe actually we had the PS1, but we didn't like my dad never set up the Genesis until we moved into another house where we had multiple rooms with multiple TVs.
Oh, okay.
Cuz
All right.
well, I moved around a lot as a child. And so like by the
Sorry, I did
time
too.
so like my memory of having the Genesis wasn't until I was like in elementary school. But I
Right.
definitely was playing video games before that, so I don't recall playing the Genesis first. I've been told I played the PlayStation first, but we had the Genesis.
Okay.
I just never played it. That's what I was told.
You know what's you want to wrap it up with a funny ass memory from myself. So we had the regular Nintendo Entertainment System, the first console that we owned, right? And I remember, playing Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers and Zelda, what I thought was Zelda, until I was in middle school, and I went over to my buddy's house, and actually, no, I think I was either, I must have been like 8, so right before I was a freshman in high school, and he had gotten a Nintendo 64 and Ocarina of Time, and he wanted to play through the original Zeldas first before playing Ocarina of Time in preparation. And I was over at his house and I was like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the original Zelda. Like, haven't you played it?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I have, but I don't remember this." And he was like, "Well, how do you not remember it or whatever?" I was like, "I don't know. This is not familiar to me." Turns out my first experience with Zelda was Adventures of Link, second game.
Oh,
I
okay.
had never actually played the first game until I was in middle school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got. Okay, I can give you two things before we go from me. One, I missed the school bus because my best friend and I, who lived down a couple, like we used to live in a cul-de-sac with like a bunch of houses. All people don't know what a cul-de-sac is. It's basically just like this space where there's a bunch of houses and basically you have like the main
street ends.
You have street ends that have dead ends, and so basically it splits like a T, so you can come in from either side, you go up, you come out, and it's basically dead ends here, so that's just homes. So, and then you can go out here to go out to the street. So I was up here and my friend was down here where the entrance was to get into the cul-de-sac area. So it was like a few neighbors' backyards we just run through to get to each other, because everyone kind of was friends with each other. A lot of kids lived in that neighborhood, so we would constantly go to each other's houses. But anyway, I was at his place, totally breaking the rules. I was not supposed to be there ever. To like what? Well, I was not supposed to be there because of this reason. We were playing the Frogger, the video game. I can't remember on what console though. We were playing Frogger.
PlayStation.
I think
it was a good version.
I think it was the GameCube, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Might have been the GameCube. And we were playing Frogger, the video game. And what we do is my friend would set the timer, so an egg timer, so that we would know when the bus was coming. We could be ready to go. Well, he turned it, but he didn't turn it all the way around and then pulled it back because we only had like 5 minutes left. And so all of a sudden we missed the alarm. We realized
the bus.
As we were coming out the door, the bus was driving away, being like, could you just stop? Like, obviously we're coming to you. We go to this bus every single day. But anyway, I did a bad mistake, which was, we were walking. It was the school is actually decently close, so it wasn't a big deal if we were like it would have not been as bad. But we were walking. This person was willing to give us a ride. We took the ride, which was probably a really bad idea in hindsight now. Like, don't do this, kids.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger. Do not take a ride from someone you do not know. But the person was willing to take us to school. I didn't care. I was trying to get to school.
You grew up in the Midwest,
yeah,
dude. It's totally different than a lot of other places.
It was like 20-something years ago. Like it's a different time we lived in, or a different time we just didn't know about those scary people back then. But anyway, we took a ride. They gave us a ride to our school. We got to school on time. It almost was like we never happened. And then he told his parents, and then I got it. And then obviously I was sat down and being like, well, you can't go over there anymore in the mornings, blah, blah, blah. And I still went over there. He basically he gave me like a signal to know when his dad was gone, so that I would go over in the morning, and then instead of playing video games in the back room, we would just watch TV in the front room. And then, which I think he knew, I think his parents knew, which is not a big deal. Like, we've been best friends forever. It just was kind of like the punishment type thing. But I had to sit down and be like, do not take rides from strangers. And I was like, okay, I won't do it again, I promise. So anyway, that's one. But two, I talked about like the iteration of video games and how like the PS1 jumped in regards not just to like 3D space, but just like the evolution of innovating video games in general. Here's one example, another good example. Have you ever played the Monster Rancher game?
A long time ago, yeah.
So the innovative part about that game, if people don't know, the Monster Rancher game for PS1, is to get a new monster, you have to take the disc out. You pop while the PlayStation is still running, you play the PlayStation, you open the disc drive, take the disc out, and then you put a CD in. And then it reads the CD, and then it generates a monster based off the CD. Now, I don't know if that's actually the case or if it's an entire just randomizer and it's just pretending like it's reading your disc as a way to do it. But I swear, I think it does read your disc of some capacity. But anyway, do you know how entertaining that was for hours? Just grabbing all the CDs in your house,
random ass CDs,
and just put them in a stack and be like, let's get the best monsters we can get, and just like literally going for hours, and then be like, oh my god, you got a rare monster, and guess what CD it was? It was the Michael Jackson CD or something like that. Of like, you never, or sometimes you would go like, who the hell is this band? But yeah, it gave me a great monster. It's like, it's my parents' CD.
Awesome.
So like that was just pushing and innovating in ways we could never even imagine. And it's just like that's why that generation was so good. Like I think an agreement like that is just, there's no possible way to top that. Like the top that. And it's kind of like in the perfect time frame too of like how evolution of games was happening. Like I don't think we'll ever get that again. Like games are amazing now. Like don't get me wrong. Like games are freaking phenomenal, but it's like the innovation that you got out of that, especially as a child, you will never get that in any other generation.
Well, I feel like, all right, so that stuff's probably lost on us now that we're older, right? Like,
Right.
the kids today are gonna remember, like,
The
hey,
Fortnite dance.
remember? Yeah, exactly. Like, remember that dance that was in Fortnite that you had to get it back then. Like, there's no way to get it now.
Billy
or
Turner,
anything
like 80 years from now, is gonna break his hip trying to do that Fortnite dance. He's gonna be like, "Oh, my hip! Oh."
yeah, or like the skin that was like unique to like you were the only kid in your entire crew that had that skin.
And guess what? They're gonna tell him like, "Yeah, Daddy bought it for you, didn't he?" They'd be like, "Yeah, he did."
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, remember that time
like
I ranked up $500 of credit in my dad's credit card to try to get the battle pass? That's what the memories are gonna be.
Right. Yeah, just very different than ours is all.
Yeah, but I still think like, oh, I would love to have them. Well, I guess now they don't know what CDs are.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I'm not like I'm one where I'm the perfect generation where I know what a floppy disk is because I caught it at the end. Like I know know the compact floppy disk, but I know like the legit ones too. I was there for the early time of AOL Instant Messenger to email to dial up internet and trying to play a freaking. I'm trying to play a Cartoon Network video game I saw on TV, but I can't play it because the internet's so damn freaking slow. It takes like an hour to load the game, and the game is already trashed. It's like,
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're at that generation, just a few years younger than me. That it just pre-internet. Like you have memories of what it was like before. Actually having the internet.
Like my parents had not my parents, my grandparents had the turnstile TV where it was like a dial.
Oh yeah.
And then even crazier was go ahead.
Did you ever have one of those TVs where you had to like take the plastic knob off of the top of the TV and then use it for the which knob you're actually
No. Didn't have that. But we did have to do long distance calling, which was calling we'd have to grab this card where we had to dial a number to use our minutes.
Oh yes, I do remember those.
I didn't know what it was for. I was just told anytime I call grandma, I have to dial this number first, wait for this, press this number, and then dial the phone number on the back of the card, which is my grandmother's number.
Long distance cards. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
That's a weird thing that nobody has to deal with now.
Yeah, it's the weirdest things. But like again, like that generation of the PS1 is so creative and innovative for the time. I don't like I love games of this generation so much, and like the games to come are going to be amazing obviously, but like I think that generation lost out on like some amazing experiences you just aren't going to get anywhere else anymore. Like you just can't, you're not going to get it. Like there's no way, because like you don't have CDs anymore. What are you going to do? Like based off your Facebook friends, you'd be like, Robert gave me this Monster Rancher because I'm friends with Robert on Facebook, like or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or whatever social media you use. But like that would be that actually might be interesting to try out as like as a replacement for your Monster Rancher. So you can be like, hey Robert, thanks for giving me the best fucking Monster Rancher ever. I'll let him know that like you're the man. Like everyone friend Robert. Robert gives you this monster on Monster Rancher. Like that would be kind of sick actually. It would be a great way to connect social media wise. But yeah, I think we can agree that like our childhoods with that generation of hardware is probably the best hardware ever.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely miss the days of the more simple 3D graphics.
True. I mean, now knowing that you just told me that we can play these on my PC, we will have to do a stream most definitely with some of these, especially like maybe the jam packs. Like A good
That's
beer.
those would be the fun.
Yeah.
Those would be the fun ones to do because
Yeah, a good
you just run
beer,
through all
stream the
games in
jam
your head.
packs, and then you guys can watch me as I try to play Elmo bungee. What is it? No, he's not bungee jumping. What is it called? A pogo stick. Pogo sticking to try to create words in the alphabet. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If you're still listening. I'm sorry if it wasn't the show you were expecting, but this is what you get.
If you stuck around for that trip down memory lane.
I mean, hey, hopefully you did because it's well worth it. Like some of these games are great. So I had we're Pixel Pints, we are the only global gaming podcast, but right now we are just domestic. Gaming podcast that covers two great things: good beer and video games. If you want to follow us, we stream live on twitch.tv/pixelpints every single weekend. If you want to know when we go live, just go to follow us on Twitter at pixel_pints and on Instagram at pixelpintspod. We archive our episodes on Twitch, YouTube. Just look Pixel Pints on YouTube and on all the podcasting services that you can find. Yes, we're not getting paid for this gig, but we still enjoy it anyway, just for kicks and gigs. But if you like us, thumbs up, subscribe, smash, beat up, Hadouken, the like button, and the share button, and all the buttons, because you need more buttons in your life. So rate the podcast.
The reason I was cracking up so much there is this horrible, offensive joke that I remembered.
And on that
I'm going to end the episode with it. So the joke goes, I like my beer like I like my violence. Domestic. I thought it was funny because I'm drinking VR right now.
It works. Hey, I dig the joke. There's nothing better than domestic beer and domestic humor.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed I told that joke.